All right, so we finally got this here 23T in the garage for a customer, and our job is to kind of finish it up, I think. To start off, I was asked to get it wired, get the headlights and blinkers and brake lights and all that wired, but come to find out, we didn't even know if it runs or not. There's no ignition, there's no battery cables, there's no nothing to it. So I told him first things first, let's get the starter wired up, get the battery where it needs to go, and let's prime this motor. It's been sitting for a while, so we're gonna stick the oil rod down in there on the old drill and put an oil pressure gauge on it, and we'll see, make sure it's building oil pressure, probably pop valve cover off, make sure oil's coming up top and all that kind of good stuff. It's got good clean oil on the dipstick. I don't know. As far as the guy who owns the car now knows, is he don't know if it runs. Well, he was told it runs, but I said, does it run? He says, so. That's pretty much where we're at with that. So what we're gonna do is go through and see what's going on with that. Right now I'm working on inside the bucket because the back's not gonna have a bed to, a lot of people would put the fuel cell in there with the battery in the back. I don't believe this is gonna have a bed. He had like a really cool old trunk, like actual trunk that he was talking about putting on there, but he didn't bring it with him. So I would have preferred to put the battery and all that in there, because then you can kind of get the seats lower. As of right now, my seats have to be up high enough to get that battery underneath there. So that's pretty much where we're at with that. It's got quite a bit of work to do. I think it's cool. I think it's cool just like it is, but I think we're gonna either get this wrapped, or it may just get painted right here. I'm not sure yet on that. We're gonna get it running, driving, and finished, and then we'll figure out, what we're gonna do look-wise with it. That way everything has a place. So basically, don't mind my garage. I kind of got stuff everywhere. This is cool. It's got Street Glide. These are the Street Glide halo headlights I was telling you about. Found some buckets that fit. So that's pretty cool. As of right now, it's just got that shelving bracket on there, but I think we're gonna probably try to do something along these lines. Something along those lines. Not quite sure yet. I'm not sure if he's sticking with, right now I think it makes kind of almost a cool rat rod deal. It's got the Mustang 2 front end on it. So it's kind of like a snub nose T-bucket. It's pretty short in style. It's pretty cool looking. It's got a 1/2-inch copper line for the windshield. I don't know if this at one point used to, have the pivot or whatever. These mirrors are gonna go. They're just on there. It does have doors, so we got to figure out a latching system for that. This is where I'm at right now. So this is what I'll be working on, this area. I'm gonna try to build a nice box. This is this bar here is about 9 inches high. So that's kind of where the guy has always had his seat in it when he's messing with it in the garage or whatever. So this is not straight, and it's welded with a flux core or something. I don't even know. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. I don't know if it's making this more structural, having this. I gotta find out if that's something he added to it, or if I can just run a board across there. I kind of like the metal. I am gonna take these off, I'm gonna grind these off. And if I can't knock this straight up and down, then I'm gonna have to cut at least these lower bars off here. So I'll just grind that booger weld off of there, grind that one off. I mean, I could probably hit it with a hammer and it'd probably just break. But that's only if I can't get these to level out. Once I drop my piece of wood for the bottom in here, because yeah, I'm gonna put a sealed box in here for all my electrical components. I don't know if this thing's sitting up on like hockey pucks, like I don't even know what or why. So I'm probably gonna set the car back down because it's awful not safe or sturdy. So this will come back through there, but I'll box it in and it'll be all, we'll get there when we get there. It's got a GM column in it. It's just some stuff he had, so we're just kind of working with what he had. Try to get this here. It's got a 9-inch rear end in it, but it's got to be all tweaked and lined up. It's nowhere near lined up. I don't know why, but you can see the 4-link bars over there and the 4-link bars over here, so I don't know exactly why, but I'll figure that out. I'll get to that. My first plan of attack is to try to hear this thing run and get the ignition and the battery and all that all wired up. So yeah, that's where we're at with this thing. We're thinking like a black cherry pearl over black base on it. But that's a long ways away, but we'll get there. That's that side. Yeah, so we're gonna get this all figured out and go from there. On this bad boy, we got some wood, some nice wood. I've been out here messing around with this thing all day. We got a project going on here. The kid left my door open. So this is what we got going on right now. So this is all birch, 1/4-inch plywood. I got 4 pieces here. That way I could bend them around the curve here. I'm gonna flip the camera around. So this is gonna be my bottom. I'm gonna set the battery down in there. So I'm gonna cut the battery hole out of this, and then the battery will set down on the floor underneath here. And then that'll kind of help hold it in place, and then I'll build a hole down for the battery. Plus I got to recess it down in here because of the height, unless we decide to go with a different style battery. But it acted a little bit funny right here, but I'm going to sand it down, so I think it'll be all right. I'm going to sand it until it looks beautiful. This is just in the form. For now, we just use the actual floorboard, and we just put blocks around it. I had to put a couple lag bolts to it. I had no choice. I didn't have enough clamps on hand, and it's midnight here. We did break one through trial and error before we ended up coming up with the idea to actually use the floor as a form. So, but it worked out. We got it in there, so I'm gonna let that sit overnight. I did not wet the plywood. I probably could have soaked it, for about an hour, and it made it more pliable. It would have probably been a little bit easier of a job, but we just used these little clamps and a board, and we pushed it That's why we ended up using the lag bolts up here to hold that where it needs to be. Other than that, I mean, I'm happy with it so far. All this has to be flushed up right here. I'm gonna flush it. I gotta glue it. So tomorrow I'll take this out of here and then we'll get glue on each side and then we'll get it back in its shape. I probably can't use this for gluing. I mean, I'll have to get some kind of paper or something, like butcher paper or something like that. And that way the glue, I don't know. I got another older board over there. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet. I ain't figured it out, but I know there's going to get some squeeze out on the bottom, but we'll figure all that out tomorrow when the time comes. But that's pretty much where I'm at. This, basically what you're looking at, is going to sit right down in there. And then I'll build a nice lid that sits flush with this that goes in there. That'll be fixed. And then I'll have some sort of like door to open to access the battery and the fuse panel and whatever else may be in here. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I didn't get much done but a big mess in my garage. I hate cutting wood in my garage, but it's like 20 degrees outside in Michigan, snow. So heck with it. We're just rolling with it. We just had dust all over everything. It is what it is. But yeah, she's cool. We're gonna start here. I'm doing all this because I want a nice spot for my battery and all my electrical that I'm gonna run. I'll have a nice mounting surface to screw the fuse panel down to and whatever else I gotta put in here. I'm probably gonna end up, against my better judgment, putting the MSD box in here as well, and then just lengthen the wires to reach. I really have no other options for that other than right here on the firewall, and I think that would look terrible. And then there is a little room up under here, but again, I'd have to go through the firewall. And I'm trying to avoid that. We're gonna probably put a nice plate or something on there. So I want to try to keep that clean. But we'll figure it out. We pulled that gas tank off of here. Somebody had like a gator dumping rack deal on the back of here, so I don't know as far as that big black bracket goes what we're gonna do there. But here's the fuel pump. It's got a nice fuel pump on it. Nice little canister filter. So I gotta run the fuel line, get power to the fuel pump. I got the battery cables and all that should be coming tomorrow. I ordered wire and ends. Yeah, so that's where we're at on that. Oh, well, we're back at this here. Got it all clamped up. I let it sit overnight in the form. Just got the top edge sealing off. Putting some dowels in. But yeah, my daughter came out here. So just putting some dowels in to hold that, because I don't know exactly what's gonna happen when I take all them blocks off. I wasn't sure if I was gonna make that fixed to that, but I guess it is what it is. So I'm just working on getting this, like all this right here, glued and clamped nice and tight like that. Make it look good. I'll update once I find out how it works, and we'll go from there. We're steady at it. Steady at the old bucket. Man, oh man. But, so, wire it, get it running. But not me. You remember what we started with. So I built this nice box. Recess latch. I was going to recess the hinges, but I don't think I need to because I got another piece of birch that's going to go in here. So we got that. I'm going to try to cram all my wire stuff over here. Fuse panel and all that. And then you'll have like a little storage cubby over there. Pretty nice. I got the wire today. Some 1 gauge. Just some Amazon stuff. This is what he brought me. So before you judge me on my Amazon, brought me a jumper cable, battery. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty neat. Coming along pretty good. I like this. Wasn't sure what way to make it open, and I was concerned with the integrity. I mean, you are going to have another piece of probably 1/4 inch that the foam's going to go on, to get upholstered. You'll still have to take that out to be able to access this, but this is kind of like, under the hood, the trunk, whatever you want to call it. But I cut these on an angle, 45 these. I still got to sand it and clean it all up and everything. I had to set the battery. I sat it down in here because there's a, the floor obviously is underneath my board. So I just routed that out to set the battery down in there because it's kind of close. I don't think the front touches, but the back's close. I did that. He said he's going to run an Optimum battery, so I'm using my race car battery, but because it's going to be, I'm going to use the side post. So if anything, I mean, I'll cut down them terminals or something. But I think it's good to go with, them notches in there, doesn't hit. And it's got caps for those. I just don't know where mine are at, but when he buys one, it'll come with caps. So that's where I'm at on that. I've got a piece of back for the back that I'll probably try to get in there. But yeah, so far this is pretty much where I'm at. That's what was in there before. So I'm probably I'm not exactly sure yet, but I'm gonna come out probably somewhere around here. Sorry about that. With my wires, and I'm debating if I'm gonna go here or if I'm gonna route them this way and go here. But there's a channel here, but you can't get through it. It's sealed off. It would be nice to be able to come through right here and go up front, but I don't want to drill that out. So I'm gonna come out here, and I'll probably just run right up that way. I might even see what the inside of the trans tunnel looks like, and then I can just, because this is open right here, then I can just go right in there. Yeah, I don't know. I gotta cross that bridge. A lot of work. I think I've been on this thing for 2 days, messing with this box. The first day I kind of sorted out all the stuff he brought me. and all that kind of stuff. Now I got this big old mess in here, man. Yes, I'll just keep coming on and keep updating. I'm gonna hold out on this one, I think, and post it a little later. Pretty nice, don't you think? All right, so today, I don't know if you can tell, but we have dropped the body. I had to trim out this firewall, had to be trimmed out. I don't know if the guy who had it, because it was sitting up on 3 hockey pucks. I think I did a video of that before. I'm gonna keep one under it, I believe. I may even trim them in half so it has some kind of body mount. But we've got this thing sitting down onto the frame now. It was, I don't know if you're gonna believe this. So see that one hole there? It had this board bolted through there with a lag bolt, one lag bolt, and then this was underneath, obviously, and it just had 2 drywall screws screwing it down, and that's what was holding the whole back of this car. Like, I'm like 250. I feel like if I would have gotten the driver's side of this thing, it would have just been over with. So I don't know, really, I don't think that's the case that he had it up like that because he wanted it up like that. I just think you know, lack of knowledge in cars, I guess, things like that. But I've got it sitting down. It's gonna sit down a little bit more. It's definitely gonna sit down more in the front because right now it's sitting on that, and that's hanging down. I don't know if you can see, about, I don't know, maybe 3/8 of an inch. So it's currently sitting right on that. So once I trim that down, I think I'm gonna leave a little bit of gap there. And I'll just, I might trim down a hockey puck or whatever, because that's what I got and that's what was on it, and it is what it is. That's my battery hole, custom fit for the Optima. So now I got to, because this is now sticking up through the floor, I'm gonna have to route out the bottom of this box so it sits down flat, and then the body bolts go through here, and there's another one right here. That's where the body bolts go through. The front ones just go through the wood floor here. There ain't really no structure there, just the wood, but that's kind of how these things are. So I'll have to route out or use a drill bit, making a little spot for them bolts to stick in the bottom of this box so I can put that back in there. This trans tunnel was way up there. You can see where it used to be, and you got to mount the gas pedal in these things, and you got the brake pedal here, so you got to mount the gas pedal on the firewall. And this tunnel was just way tall, and it's fiberglass, so I think I'm going to try to trim another inch or 2 off the front of that, and that way when I slide it up more, the more I trim it back, the shorter it gets, because it doesn't need to be that tall. So I've got all that height right there, where all that overspray you can see, or whatever that is. Got all that before I even need a tunnel. And it really kind of sucks because it didn't really need a tunnel here. This didn't need to be cut out this far. It could have been like here, and then you could have mounted the shifter right to the floor. But it is what it is. So we'll get that lowered. get that taken care of. I'm gonna put a piece of that birch on the firewall, and it'll get carpeted the same as the floor and stuff. I think that'll look really good. And then since I'm putting the birch up front, I may put the MSD box up there on the firewall. I don't know yet. But yeah, that's where I'm at. My wiring project. But I've got to have this body, you know, where it needs to be before I route any wiring and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, I'm just inching away at it. It looks cool as shit now, though. Definitely looks like a hot rod now. She's sitting down nice. It's got to be lined up and everything, so still needs a lot of body work and paint, but I'm gonna get the whole car built before we focus on that. I'm kind of trying to figure out interior as I go. I did make the top board. I think I did the video on the latch and everything that I did. But I'll do another video because I did make this one goes in there on top of that box. And then this one will be the one that the foam padding and everything goes to, that the upholstery will get stapled to. And that sits on there. I got the notches. I got it notched out. And I got the hinges so it sits nice and flat. So that's pretty cool. I got that pretty much done. Once I get this body mounted how I need it to be and good and solid, it's not even bolted, and it's 10 times more solid than it was before. And then this here, I don't know where the windshield bolts. It's like way out here over here, and then it's tight there. So I'm gonna probably have to try to maybe slot these just a little bit to try to get that straight. But yeah, oh, I did this today. New door panel, that's how it was. I had to route that out. I had routed out for them bolts going through there so it would sit in there. I thought it was going to sit a little more in because I was going to put another upholstery panel over it. So I've got to try to see why it's sitting like perfectly flush. It sits in a little here, so maybe I didn't route this lip far enough or something. Maybe it just needs to be routed a little deeper. I'll look into that because I would like that to fit in better. Because I would much rather just upholster a thin piece of like 1/8 inch or something, and then put over top of that. But I don't know. We'll figure that out. The door shuts a lot better since I put that in there. I think just because it's heavier. But now I got a way I can figure out a latch for it. It doesn't sit even. I don't know, what was done there, but the gap up here is nice. It's tweaked down there a little bit, but I don't know. Maybe if I clamp that down, and maybe I put something in the bottom there to stop this from shutting, and then clamp this down, it'll tweak it that little bit. But yeah, I'm just kind of everywhere with this project. As of right now, I think I'm gonna go ahead and try to get my box fitted back in here, try to get that frame rail routed out of the bottom of it. No big deal. Yeah, and then we'll come back out here with some more updates on this project. Alright, so that's where it's coming out. And we opted to just screw it to the wood. There is enough wire there if we have any issues with that. Let's see if I can't. Pretty much got it ran like that, and then I'm just winging it with the camera right now, so it runs up through there. Pretty easy peasy setup there. That's just big cables. It was easier to just run it under the car. So I gotta fix all this. Yeah, a lot of stuff to do on here. If you look at this, I don't know if you can tell from there. Probably can. That drive shaft. Woo! Crooked, crooked, crooked. So, yeah. That's where we're at on this. Alright, so I got some stuff done today. We got the battery in there. She's recessed down in there, so she ain't going nowhere. And we ran the cables like that. It just seemed to make the most sense to me. I think that ground strap there will be alright. The ground from the battery goes all the way to the block. It's only like 4 feet of wire or something. Then I guess I'm going to use that fuse panel. I don't see necessary to build a relay panel. The only thing on this that's going to need a relay is the fan. I don't see nothing else needing a relay. Yeah, I gotta lengthen the wires on the MSD box. The website says you can do that. Just gotta step the gauge up one. I ended up having to route this out like that because we lowered the body. We lowered the body quite a bit. Probably I don't know, 1.5 inches in the back, probably like 2 inches in the front. So yeah, that's where we're at. We got it. It's running all underneath there. I guess I'll climb down there and show you underneath, but we got it running. That's the ground going to the block, and then we got the power that goes to the starter down there. Make sure it ain't rubbing or touching, nothing like that. I got the alternator wire on there. It's just laying in there right now. Gotta hook that up. Yeah, so I'll get under the car. We're supposed to be going to drop that white car off at my buddy's shop today because I got this in here, so I don't really have room to be messing with it. I think it's just a bad ground or something stupid, so I'm just gonna drop that off. He's like 5 minutes down the road. He'll knock it out for me, and then I'll get Nicholas detailing that and whatnot. So we can get that listed. That way we can go ahead and order some parts for that little 6-cylinder and get that rebuilt. Because we can work on that motor in between doing this. I've been on this since, well, I got the car Saturday. I didn't really do nothing on Saturday but kind of go through whatever he gave me and all that. So it was only, what is it? Today is, let me look, Wednesday the 10th. So I got the car on the 6th. I didn't start working on it until the 7th. So 3 days I've been at it on this car, and we've got quite a bit done. I'm happy kind of with the progress here. I think by the end of today I should have this car pretty much wired up and hopefully ready to try to start and see where we're at with that. So today, new day. I'm gonna work on getting the firewall in there. I had to order some stuff for this here, so while I wait on that, I'm gonna get that firewall done because I have to have the firewall to be able to hold any wires up or anything like that in there. Plus I'm gonna put kick panels here. I got to get some grommets, so when I come through here. Stuff like that that I didn't have yesterday when I was doing this, so I can tidy these up, get all that going on. Sent a picture to my buddy. First thing he sends me back is that. I'm like, yeah, I didn't have nothing to put in there. Is what it is for now. But we'll get that buttoned up. I'm gonna get on this firewall, and then that way I can start figuring out these wires. I'm gonna obviously put these in a nice loom. They're gonna come out probably the front there. Again, I don't really know. I just kind of go with the flow. Like, this wasn't a plan here either. I was kind of gonna take these out that way, but I like the way that looks. I think it looks good. So yeah, just another day out here. I'm gonna get that and try to get that trans tunnel. I think I got some epoxy coming. I'm gonna just epoxy that trans tunnel back in because it's all fiberglass, and try to get a nice flat surface along where I had to cut that out, because I got carpet coming for it too. That way I can hide my wiring. Yeah, it's coming along nice. I got the firewall cut out already. It's a little too big because I usually make my measurements a little big. That way I can take it down. So I just got to sand these corners down a little bit. Probably take a little off of here, hit them corners, test fit it again. That way I can get it all nice and tight. Yeah, go from there. Man, oh man, we're still over here working on this. We got these door panels gluing. Them are just the base to be able to put panels on. I'm just steady going at it. I'm going to turn the camera around. We're on day, let me look, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is day 5. Just me, and then my son comes over part-time in the last 5 days because I just paid him. Well, I paid him for the last 4 days, and he worked like 17 hours or something. Me, I'm always out here messing around, whether I'm saying I'm punched in or punched out or whatever. I'm just constantly, just all day from the time I get up, basically out here just working on it, researching, figuring things out, trying to get stuff done as I can. I'm gonna turn the camera around. So I got this, don't mind this. This is a bundle of trailer wire I had to steal a 12 gauge wire out of. So we got, still here, we're still here, but I got the fuse panel in. Getting ready to put the power to the fuse panel. These are my coil wires. These will go around this way. They're gonna go through their own hole. It's kind of pretty much the same place I was at, I think, but I got the firewall in there. So that's in there. Gotta put a spot where I'm gonna put a power and a ground. I got the tunnel in. I don't know if I showed that last. I don't know what happened to my video, but I got the firewall in. I lowered that tunnel way down. I got some epoxy. I'm gonna try to get the floor flat. I don't want to put any more plywood in here because it's already small enough car, so I'm gonna try to level it with some epoxy. We've mounted a little terminal spot. I'll probably run that off the ignition, that way he's got somewhere for add-on stuff, for radio or whatever he might want to add to this thing or something like that. So that's the firewall. I'll make some kick panels for it. Most importantly, I lowered that tunnel quite a bit. It was in the way big time for the gas pedal. It still seems a little tall. I probably Could have took another maybe even 2 inches off of that, but it was getting narrow to cover the hole, so I had to really step on that to get that back in place. I just got some screws going through the floor holding it for now until I can get some epoxy to set. But yeah, that's where I'm at. We got that door panel in. Just steady staying at it. I got a lot of the wiring sorted out. I got to work on getting the column in here for them. That's pretty much where we're at. All right, we're back day 6 on this T-bucket here. I'm just trying to sort all the wires out. I got MSD stuff here. I'm getting this one. This is my coil. It's gonna be a lot shorter. It's just a tad long, just for make sure I get there, and I'll just trim off what I don't need. But the wires were real short on this box, so I would have had to lengthen them anyway. I don't really like doing that, but there's nowhere really good to put this box. So my hands are kind of tied there, so I'm just trying to get all this squared away. But yeah, we're making progress. Spoke with the customer today. He said that let's just keep moving. He's going to come down this weekend, check it out, and we'll go from there. So I'm shooting on getting this running. I got a customer coming by tomorrow to look at some of my work. She wants a rat rod wired up, so hopefully we get that. If I'm still working on the bucket, I'll just move my car. I'll go take the car to the shop or something like that. I can put 2 cars in here. I can move the bike and push my car in the back and have 2 cars right here, but we'll figure that out. I don't know when she wants to know, what's going on. So we'll figure all that out and go from there. I'm trying to get this baby running. That way I got it running and ready to rock for when he shows up to look at it. So hopefully we got no hiccups. And I'm going to try to adjust the camera and try to show down here where I'm at. Alright, so this is basically what I'm working with. I had to extend this wire, so I extended it, I put the casing on it, and I put a sleeve on there. And that's the distributor wire. This is the coil wire. I am going to run these together up front, so I cased them separately. So they're going to go like this, and then I'm going to put them in a case. I don't think I'm going to leave them separate. I think I'm going to double case them as long as I can get it through my hole there. So that'll basically be that, and I'll go through there, and then this fuse panel is coming out through there. It's going to go up from and around right along the tunnel, and then come across, go up the firewall. Same with these. They're all going to be routed together. These are basically all the wires. I don't know if you can see this one. These are all the wires that are going to go up front under the dash, and then since it's got a pre-wired column, all the wires that come off the column control all the blinkers and all that kind of stuff. So everything's going to go under here, and then Let me see if you can see the dash. Not quite. Can't see the dash. Let me adjust this real quick. I think I can get you better adjusted here. I'll put you here. Okay. Yeah. Alright, so I had to move the camera a little bit, but it's got a GM column in it. I'm working on trying to get that in its final location. I'm going to have to do some kind of mounting under there. Something, maybe put a plate across or something. I don't know. I haven't got to that yet. I just need the column there so I can access the wires and stuff. I think I found the plug for it for the other side, so, and then I gotta just take this right here and figure out where they all go on the column. Most of these go to the column. One of them comes back when you turn the key on. I think it's the yellow. Okay, so yeah, the pink used to be yellow, but I didn't have no thick yellow, so I made it pink. Plus there's already another yellow, so it was annoying me. So we got a pink going to the ignition, and then the yellow's gonna come back. When you turn the key on, it's gonna give power to the stuff that's key on power in there. The white one's gauges. Purple one, bear with me. Purple one's the blinkers. This goes to the blinker switch. This is an accessory too. Green wire. Hazards. This red one, brakes. This yellow one, be a radio wire, which I don't know if you need or not, because it's probably gonna have a Bluetooth, like a marine Bluetooth. We already talked about that one. This is an accessory as well. I haven't figured out what I really need the accessories for. I'll probably run, I don't know, I gotta run something. I'm gonna have to run the fan and all that. I don't know if I'm gonna put the fan on a switch, a temperature switch. I don't really like that. I don't like the fan kicking on and off, kicking on and off. I don't see the point in a hot rod for kicking the fan on and off. I think if you're driving it, just leave the fan on, let the motor, it ain't gonna hurt that fan motor. It's gonna hurt the fan motor more by shutting it off, turning it on, shutting it off, turning it on. So I believe in just when you turn the key on, fan goes. So I'm gonna wire a relay. I don't know exactly where I'm gonna put the relay. I'll probably put the relay under the dash and then go out to the fan. Other than that, I don't really see anything else this car needs a relay for, to be honest with you. Yeah, so I'm just sorting all this out. This come out pretty decent. I would pick it up higher to show you, but I've already got the ignition wire, the key on wire going to the MSD, and then this is going to be to the battery wire for the MSD. I'm going to put that in a casing. Then you got your ground here for the MSD, so that's going to sit right here, nice and pretty. I think it's coming along pretty good. Yeah, really, I think this is working out pretty good so far. I put that epoxy on the floor because I had cut the tunnel out, like I said before. So I put epoxy on the floor. It still ain't cured. God bless it, my wire keeps falling down into it. It's kind of cured, but it's not. I might have to take the heat gun. I don't know. I don't really mess with epoxy, but it was my best solution for the trans tunnel. it didn't really get the full effect of what I wanted to do, but I don't want to bring that floor up too high because I got 10 millimeter foam, density foam, heat shield, whatever you call that stuff that I'm gonna put on the floor over the tunnel. And I also got carpet coming, so hopefully he likes the carpet I've got. I think he wants to go white with interior, white with red maybe, like a deep, like a maroon, because we're gonna do this black cherry pearl over black. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm gonna figure out a dash situation. I think this is like fiberglass. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do there. He's got the gauges. He needs to get a tack, but we got all the gauges. So I'm gonna put them in, get them wired up. First things first, I'm gonna get the oil pressure gauge set up. I got a sending unit. I didn't get a 3/8 pipe fitting. I don't know what it's got on it. Let me look. Can't see, and it's way bigger than a 3/8. And I don't know. Maybe I'll steal one out of my car. I don't know, I'll figure that out. I gotta go back up to the auto parts store here at 4 o'clock and pick up the plug. I hope it's the right plug for that column. I'll take you under there when I do get the plug, and then I gotta figure out what wires go where, and we gotta get this bad boy hooked up. There's a sending unit on the car, so I really bought this for the plug. So if this plug works on the sending unit that's in there, maybe it's got a 3/8 pipe cap. Maybe if it's 3/8, I'll put the new one in this, but I mainly got this for the plug to see if it plugs right into that one. It was only $15, so that's where we're at.
Follow him on Instagram at TopDogLaw. Indiana's the bigger small, like the deck. It's TopDogLaw.com.
Detroit, what up? I just got back to the city, put y'all up on game right quick. I can beat Detroit 3-1-3. Located at 16,
That's the blinker. These are going to be running lights. They're off the ignition. When you turn the ignition on, the halos come on. It's how I wired it. It's how most cars are. And then got your light switch. So when the lights are on, that's what the blinker looks like. And then we'll figure out a high beam switch. I did wire it for high beams, so you will have high beams. But yeah, them things are cool. I think it looks cool. Look how low that baby is.